entertaining series so far between the D-backs and the Nats. Tonight's 3 of 4. And Lance Nix is in right field in the lineup tonight. We'll tell you why in a moment as the Nats try to make it a 6-3 homestand with one more to go tomorrow night. Bob and FP, welcome to the ballpark. And we're going to see Levon a little bit later. But first of all, let's talk about Jason Worth. You speculated last night he might be hurt, came out of the lineup late in the ball game, and he's not in there tonight.
Yeah, a little groin tweak. He did it on a play last night going down the right field corner. It was right after the 2-run homer. Ian Kennedy comes up, slaps the ball down the right field line. And watch him right here. Kind of a little sidestep right there. So we think that's where he kind of tweaked his groin. See that little false step right there? So Jason Worth with the night off tonight. So he's been hot lately. It's going to be up to Lance Nix, who's been struggling a little bit of late. Since the Johnny Gomes trade, July 26, Lance Nix just 9 for 56, 161. So last 24 games, you see the numbers on Worth. He's been red hot. Michael Morse has been struggling a little bit lately. So those guys are going to have to pick up the slack for Jason Worth. And how fun is that to say? They're going to have to pick up Jason Worth tonight.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Now, Jason's been pretty durable, over 120 games, over 450 at bats so far. Ryan Zimmerman getting the job done on a nightly basis now. He just keeps on doing it, and here at home, he's almost unstoppable in his own yard.
Yeah, almost stepping up to the next level as we speak. What a pleasure it is to watch this guy play baseball every single night. And I call him a baseball player because it's the complete package, not just the numbers you see there in offense. You see the 1 error in 70 chances this month. That's what I'm most impressed with, the way he's played defense at third base, the throwing, everything. So a Ryan Zimmerman that's healthy right now, probably one of the best players in the National League.
Yeah, doing it all for the Nats right now, and the defense has been spectacular lately. Another interesting pitching matchup tonight. Levon is 7-11, 4.34 ERA. He's made 26 starts, and so has the Arizona starter tonight, Daniel Hudson, who's 12-9 with a good ERA. And folks, it's not just pitching tonight. These two guys can hack. Nation's fastest mobile broadband network, and by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Right down South Capitol Street, it's Nationals Park. D-backs and the Nats, the season series is tied at 3. This series tied at 1 apiece. And we invite you to visit Train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train, and under partly cloudy skies, 84 degrees and quite comfortable at the ballpark tonight. And a breeze is blowing from the right field corner over toward the left side, but barely moving the big flags out and left. D-backs have a couple of new players tonight. There's Chris Young, who is their number 5 hitter. and he is really struggling. 0 for his last 19, 1 for 32, and then you look down to the 7 and 8 spots with Aaron Hill and John McDonald, who played alongside each other in Toronto and traded for Kelly Johnson. Here they are. They're in the lineup tonight against Livan Hernandez, who takes on the Arizona Ball Club for the 23rd time in his career. He's 11 and 8, and he pitched for them for a brief time.
And for Levo lately, it's been good one, not so good one. Last time out, not so good one. But in his defense, he went through a 2-hour and 22-minute rain delay and threw him off his routine after it was all said and done. Between his pregame routine and his trying to stay loose during the rain delay, Levo threw over 300 pitches. He ended up going 4 innings, giving up 4 runs on 7 hits, walked 2, K'd 1 through 59 pitches. 36 of them were strikes.
I would say that probably 230 of those 300 were in the strike zone.
In the cage, at least.
Wow. So here's Ryan Roberts, 1 for 7 in the series with a walk. Levon's ready at 7:07 p.m. and we are underway with strike 1. Diamondbacks on the road. They're a pretty good team despite this 2-6 trip they're on. They're still 34 and 33 away from Chase Field. Then Nats at home, 37 and 26. One hopper, that's a base hit. One hop past Zimmerman, and when he couldn't cut it off, that was all she wrote.
Even if he did cut it off, that would have been a tough play with the speedy Roberts. The defense tonight for the Nats: Gomes, Ankiel, and Nix in right field. Desmond and Zimmerman on the left side. Espinosa and Morse on the right side. Wilson Ramos doing the catching. And the reason I said Nix so long, that's the first time I haven't said Worth in about 2.5 months.
Yeah, Jason Worth, as we mentioned, has been durable. He's only missed a handful of games this year. And so here's Gerardo Parra, 1 for 4 in the series. And another one of those D-backs who's scuffling at 4 for his last 26. That's a great bunt. Might be a hit. Morse had to come off the bag to receive the throw. 2 on, nobody out.
So a couple of base hits to start this one up. Wilson Ramos out like a cat. Good throw. And I'm wondering why Michael Morse didn't keep a foot on the base. That throw didn't pull him off the base. If he keeps his foot on first base, at least you have a chance to get him. And he was nowhere near first.
And he just had a word with Tim McClellan, who I think told him you weren't even close. Michael turned and said something to McClellan, who then gestured with his arms wide back to him.
I think he thinks one of his feet are touching the base, but when Michael Morse sees this on video, he'll know that he was nowhere near.
Here's Justin Upton, 1 for 5 in the series. And the D-backs have a good situation early here. That's a breaking ball for a strike. And this is a ball game that's hungry for runs. In their last 7 games, they have scored 2 runs or fewer. Last night, they were able to get the shutout with those 2 runs, thanks to the brilliant pitching of Ian Kennedy. There's a super slow breaking ball that even the umpire Ted Barrett had to wait for. 15-year veteran. Crew chief McClelland at first. Brian Runge and Marvin Hudson as well on the bases. Levon making his 27th start.
So guess what we did during batting practice today?
Well, I knew from a posting on the clubhouse board that Johnny Gomes was mic'd up.
We mic'd up Johnny Gomes, so you don't want to miss that. All kinds of good stuff coming from a very pleasant Johnny Gomes, as he always is in batting practice today. I can think of about 5 players in baseball, top 5 guys that I'd want mic'd up. He would be number 1. So the stuff we can put on TV, we will.
Well, that's why that was posted on the board, because they wanted to warn the team that Johnny would have a mic on. You get close to him, make it nice.
Well, you should have heard his mic check when he had it on. It's nothing we can put on TV right now.
Justin Upton hitting .298. 3 for his last 22. And that's why the ball club's struggling. One of the reasons. He keeps waiting for that slow one. That's a second consecutive one he's hit off the very end of the bat. For some reason, Justin Upton and Nationals Park just don't go together. It's okay with the Nats pitching staff.
And for some reason, all season long, we've seen hitters out in front of Livan Hernandez. You would think, with his reputation, that you just totally disregard fastball and sit soft and make it be up. But then he does that, and it looks like 102.
84 just inside.
Let's check out the 84-mile-an-hour fastball off the 60-mile-an-hour curve, so a 24-mile-an-hour difference. He just missed on the inner half.
And Livan now wants to visit with Wilson Ramos. Mets beat the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park today, 7-4. And the Marlins just a few minutes ago closed out a close call against Cincinnati. They led 6-3 into the ninth, gave up a couple of runs, and beat the Reds 6-5. So a rare loss by the Phils. The Braves do play tonight. They're at Atlanta. Pardon me, at Chicago. Atlanta is trying to win their 7th in a row. So right now the Nats are 2 games ahead of the Mets in 3rd place in the East.
Livan Hernandez is such a smart baseball player. A lot of times he calls out the catcher, in this case Wilson Ramos. And he says, you know what, I don't like the way the guy is looking at second base. Let's just go no sign right here. I'm going to tell you what I want to throw. Don't put down a sign. It's a big pitch. So then in Livan's mind, there's no way that anybody's relaying anything from second base. And for a guy that relies on off-speed, deception, moving the ball around, changing speed so much, Livan Hernandez is very aware of when guys are on second base doing different things. He'll look right at him. He'll check out the runner on second and see if he's relaying location, if he's relaying signs. And if he feels like he is, he'll step off, call the catcher out, and change everything up. And sometimes, as we just saw, there'll be no sign at all.
8 pitches in this at bat so far. With Roberts at second, he hasn't moved a muscle in about the last 45 seconds. Hands on knees, and now a step out by Upton. Espinosa about as close to the second base bag as Ryan Roberts is. 3-2 pitch coming with nobody out. And he gets him on a pitch diving down and away. Big first out with a left-handed catcher, Montero, coming up.
We went to the change, 3-2. 78 miles an hour on the outer half. Watch this pitch. Perfect location. Backdoor. Maybe just taking a little off his 84-mile-an-hour fastball, but 78. Upton way out in front. Thanks for coming.
Miguel Montero, 2 for 7 career against Livan with a homer and 2 RBIs, and he has been a battery mate of Livan Hernandez, who pitched in Arizona 10 games in 06 and then 33 in 07. Hot shot, Morse. Shortstop for 1, return throw to Livan. How about that for a 3-6 play? The Nats turned their 119th twin killing of the year. It's about as long as 2 throws can be. trying to get some early offense this evening after going down without a run for the 13th time. So Michael Morse is in that cleanup spot tonight. A lot of extra base hits lately. Zimmerman, Morse, Espinoza, the 3-4-5 combination. And then they go left-right with Nix and Gomes ahead of Wilson Ramos. The Nats will take on 24-year-old Daniel Hudson. He's a Virginia Beach kid out of Princess Anne High School. They won a state championship down there, and he pitched at Old Dominion University in the Commonwealth.
Last time out, he suffered a 4-2 loss at Atlanta, allowed 4 runs on 7 hits, including a career-high 3 home runs. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts over 6 innings. Fastball slider change from Hudson, little 3-quarter delivery. As we'll find out soon from one of the Nats, he's probably got the best pure stuff on the Diamondback staff.
And he's a big guy who throws from that angle, and it appears nothing that he throws goes straight. Career record of 21-12, 46 games, 42 starts. First time the Nats have ever seen him in person, at least everybody but Nix and Gomes. And with the first baseman playing way off the line and the second baseman Aaron Hill nearby, Desmond sneaks one through. And Ian Desmond's now 4 for 9 in this so far 3-game series.
And Ian Desmond doing a good job of starting this thing up. You see the 3-quarter release point. It's tough for a right-handed hitter to hang in there. You got a big guy on the mound, 3-quarter release points, got a plus fastball. Nice job by Ian Desmond of getting on base and starting this Wego up.
Rick Ankiel 0 for 4 this series with a walk. And the batting average sitting at .240 with 27 RBIs. Has to be a bit of a mystery to the Nats with Zimmerman going so well, why the number 2 hitter hasn't been hitting better. You would think there are good pitch selections taking place. And Rick is so aggressive, as we've noted so many times this year. The key for him is being ahead 1-0, 2-0, rather than 0-1, 0-2.
And to be ahead 1-0, you got to take a pitch.
Easier said than done in this case, and that's way inside. Ball 2.
And the one thing I always used to like as a hitter facing a guy that threw 3-quarters is he shows you the baseball. Now, a big guy like Daniel Hudson will lay that arm out there, the big 3-quarter release point, so you'll see the ball for a long time. As a hitter, it allows you to get back and get ready and make good decisions.
And Keel slaps it off the end of the bat. It's got some good carry on it. Wow. That thing got down nearer the sweet spot than it appeared. And it required Gerardo Parra all the way to the track for the first down.
Let's check out the defense tonight for the Diamondbacks behind Daniel Hudson. Parra, Young, and Upton in the infield. And this is where it gets fun. McDonald and Roberts on the left side, Hill and Overbay on the right side. And that infield in 2007 was the infield for the Toronto Blue Jays. The exact same infield right there. And Miguel Montero is doing the catch, and he wasn't a part of that. But John McDonald, Aaron Hill coming over in the trade yesterday.
Last played together May 27th of 07, all 4 of them. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, 2 for 8 in the series. And that's a fastball to the outside corner.
I mean, how many times has that happened in Major League Baseball? Obviously, we don't know the answer, but
maybe never.
2007 Toronto Blue Jays infield right there. The 2011 first place Diamondbacks. Crazy. And if I'm Aaron Hill and John McDonald, I'm pumped. All of a sudden, I go from the Blue Jays, who have a good baseball team, but they're in the American League East, obviously, to the first place Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, they just made a 15-game jump in the standings from 13 behind to 2 ahead.
Pretty good exchange rate.
Ryan Zimmerman at .310 with an on-base percentage .374. He's just not biting on any pitcher's pitches these days. And the count in his favor, 2-1. Always hitting well against Arizona. Ian Desmond, Michael Morse, Other guys with good career numbers against the Diamondbacks. And Desmond not running, and the pitch diving away again. Nats have really seen their stolen bases game come to a screeching halt. At one point this year, they were second in the league in steals. Now they're seventh, and they've been sitting on 88 for a while. Of course, Roger Bernardina back to AAA, effective that. And Roger's been hot lately. And a 2-2 to Ryan. That'll fill the count.
Usually when a guy has a 3/4 slot like Daniel Hudson, you don't see that tight a slider. But so far in this game for Hudson, that's a nice pitch. Very late, very subtle. Looks like a fastball for about 58 feet, and then just a little subtle break at the end. So 3/4 guys sometimes have trouble getting on top of the slider. And Hudson does a nice job.
Desmond is running, and Zimmerman strikes out. Ian Desmond is also out, as John McDonald came flying across the bag and made an athletic play to apply that tag on the strike him out, throw him out. Inning over.
Brian Runge calls him out. You see this view right there. But did he tag him? And anytime we can fit an Exmo shot into it, we always like to.
That would be the whiff.
So, Brian Runge, there goes your perfect game. Ian Desmond was safe.
Top of the second inning, and the Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram Summer Clearance event in progress. Not for long. Hurry in for great offers to your local dealership. Center fielder Chris Young, 0 for 19 and 1 for his last 32. One hopper right to Ryan Zimmerman. Plenty of time. And Young in this series 0 for 6. Call Luna for up to 70% off all flooring. Shop smart. Shop Luna at 877-241 Luna. Guys who can hack.
This guy's on a disqualified list. He does not count.
Daniel Hudson will be batting a little later.
So those other three guys are pretty good.
Man, when you DQ somebody, they disappear.
Hey, he DQ'd himself. Walked out of the clubhouse.
Yeah, you wonder how long the Cubs want to put up with that headache. It's been a while. Lyle Overbay with a walk and 1 for 4 in the series. 4 career hits against Levon with 3 RBIs and 17 ABs. And he spanks that one way foul. Quickly 0-2. On the appeal, no swing.
Well, Levon's got a good changeup going this evening. Usually it's move the fastball around, the big slow curveball, 3 different speeds. Upper 60s, mid 60s, and low 60s. He'll throw an occasional slider. But tonight, the changeup is good.
Right to Michael Morse. Little reach to his left. And a couple of ground ball outs now for Levon. On 3 ground balls, he's registered 4 outs now to the last 3 hitters. That'll bring in Aaron Hill. So this is start number 472 tonight. Trying to even his career record at 174. 11 of those wins at the expense of Arizona. Here's Aaron Hill, who is hitting only .225 in 104 games with Toronto. 29-year-old infielder.
What that graphic failed to say is this is his 472nd consecutive start. So that's just not 472 starts. That's 472 in a row.
Aaron Hill, 29 years of age. Is it Visalia? Is that how you say it in California?
Yes, Visalia, California.
Former #1 Blue Jays pick back in '03. Nats saw him a little bit. At least the Nats that were with us 3 years ago when Washington played Toronto. He's a lifelong Blue Jay until yesterday. Levon with a quick 2nd inning. And a special season ticket offer is coming your way again. Representatives standing by to hear from you at 202-640-7990. Because if you buy 2 season tickets for next year, you get 2 free. And if you place a deposit now, you get the rest of this season free and an autographed baseball free while supplies last. Give us a call and set yourself up for a lot of fun in 2012. Michael Morse 1 for 6 in the series, on base 3 times. He's been walked and hit by a pitch. In fact, Davey Johnson was a little surprised in the dugout this afternoon when I told him our replay had shown Morse was first hit on the glove by that pitch with the bases loaded last night. And he said he did go out and ask Marvin Hudson to at least ask for help from the rest of the umpiring crew, and he refused.
And that's what we said last night. It's all Davey's asking is for some help right there. And Davey also said after the game the same things we were saying, that nobody was hit on purpose last night.
Morse almost slips and falls, and he's strong enough to kind of slice that ball by the shortstop. So the Nats have their 2nd consecutive leadoff single.
You see Michael Morse run to first base. If you remember last night, he took a secondary lead off a second, fell down, got back up, and I talked to him. I said, man, you had a rough inning last night. You got hit by a pitch, you fell down, and he said he's still feeling that, and I'm sure that didn't help right there. Goes to a knee right there, gets back up, kind of hobbles to first base. I'll tell you what, when you get a base hit, it makes a lot of things feel better.
Here's Espinosa 0 for 5 in the series, but Danny's walked a couple of times as a sacrifice. And that's at the letters.
A big hit for Michael Morse. He's been scuffling lately. 3 for his last 16, 188. But during that 3 for 16, a 409 on base percentage. What does that tell me? Teams are finally pitching around Michael Morse. So you hit your first time up, that makes everything feel better.
Fastball outside on 0-2. Target away again. Espinosa pulls a base hit. Ball right in front of Michael Morse, so he stops at second. And now the Nats have 3 hits out of their first 5 batters.
Michael Morse is not moving good, folks. You watched him run to second base right here, but let's watch Danny Espinosa on the slider from Daniel Hudson. Using that hole right there, and let's watch Michael go into second base. He's not feeling good. That's a guy that usually takes a big turn, makes the defense stop him. So it might take a couple of hits to score Michael Morse from second base.
Big spot early for Lance Nix. Getting the start in right field tonight. And he will pop it up on the infield to John McDonald, the shortstop. Batting practice today. Some baseball minds were gathered around the cage to hear Johnny Gomes talk about tonight's Arizona starter.
This guy's got the best stuff on their staff, hands down. Stuff-wise, this guy blows Kennedy away.
Well, let's see if he can blow away the Nats the way Kennedy did last night.
Always best to get the scouting report from a guy that's going to face a guy on a given night. These guys watch film all day in the clubhouse.
And Gomes has seen him 7 times live. 1 for 7. He and Lance Nix, who's now 1 for 4 against Hudson. The only 2 Nats who had ever seen this pitcher other than Alex Cora. Gomes in the air, right side. Ranging over Aaron Hill. Close enough to the infield, so Tim McClellan signals infield fly rule. And 2 easy outs now for Hudson. 2 quick outs. Catch all the action on Xfinity from Comcast. Call 1-800-XFINITY, and you can check out the Nats with John Lannon and Wade Miley. Lefties going at it tomorrow night. And then it's on to Cincinnati, Masson 2 for the weekend, DC 50 on Sunday. Chin-Ming Wong, Dontrell Willis Friday night. Ross Detweiler, Mike Leake Saturday, and Jordan Zimmerman, Johnny Cueto on Sunday. The Nats have a day off Monday and then go to Atlanta for 3. Your home for the most live sports, Xfinity, only from Comcast.
How you doing?
It's our 3rd day off this year in Atlanta.
Hi,
A day off early in the year in Atlanta, out of the All-Star break, and this one. I start paying rent in Georgia.
That's a fastball that just misses under the hands of the Nats catcher, who's hitting .300 over his last 16 games. 2 for 7 in the series. Ramos reaching. And near the bag, John McDonald. That's it for the Nats. First 2 men aboard, and then 3 outs all on the infield to keep it scoreless. Nats have out-hit the D-backs 3-2. PNC Minor League Report. Solutions that help you achieve your financial goals. PNC, for the achiever in you. We've heard a lot about Brad Peacock and Tom Malone, who's pitching tonight. These kids are on their way. And so is Steven Strasburg, who was in the ballpark today. I just talked to him real briefly after he threw on the side today, and he said he feels great.
Well, he said he feels great. He looks great. Threw his side today. He's excited about his next start. He's going to Syracuse.
And by the way, as a hitter last year, he had a big league hit, an RBI, and a couple of sacrifices. So, FP, does that mean anything that they're now allowing him to at least swing the bat in the cage?
I would say it means he's getting close to hitting. If you go to Syracuse, you're going to have to swing the bat. And obviously, when you get up here, you're going to have to swing the bat. So you got to work out those muscles, too, and get him familiar with the actions, the motion. So taking batting practice today, he's got a good swing. Ball was jumping off his bat.
And by the way, you will see his rehab start on Masson, 10:30 Saturday night with same night coverage. Hope you can join Masson HD for that. So that was a fly ball by John McDonald, who was hitting .250 for Toronto before they made the deal yesterday. And look out for this guy. Daniel Hudson is 16 for 50 this year, batting .320, and he has a .260 career batting average. Levon, by the way, throws a first pitch strike to his 9th consecutive hitter to start the game. Line drive, and right there is Danny Espinosa. 7 consecutive hitters retired now. That'll bring in Brian Roberts, who singled between short and third first time. There's a 10th consecutive first pitch strike. Roberts here in D.C. 2 for 8 with a walk. Two for 9 with a walk as Danny Espinosa takes care of that. And Levon taking care of business through 3. enjoying things on Mass and HD as we bring you the AFCIA Sideline Report. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros, and Debbie has more on Strasburg.
Well, as you just saw, Steven Strasburg did throw a bullpen session, and Steve McCaddy said he's really working hard and he likes the progress that he's made.
He's got his body in great shape. Now it's the mind, the getting out there, the thing that runs or drives the car, and getting back out there. He's only been in 4 games in over a year, so it's I know he has some expectations for himself, but just got to stay the course.
Steve also said that Steven is working on his spots. He's having a free and easy delivery. That's the key, and he doesn't want him to press. He just wants him to get his pitches in, and after he hit today on the field, he felt great. Bob, that's Pete.
That's great news. Now everybody in town wondering when that debut will take place. That's right off the end of the bat by Levon, who has 9 hits this year. So these two pitchers have combined for 25 hits, 20 RBIs, and 23 sacrifice bunts. And Hudson has a home run. Levon has hit 10 career. And he hacks that one hard out to short for John McDonald.
There's some speculation that start might come against the Dodgers.
Who come in on Labor Day or Monday, huh?
And the way they're swinging the bats the last couple of days in St. Louis. 9 runs today. I think scored a ton of runs last night. And Schumacher ended up finishing that game off for the Cardinals last night. So all of a sudden the Dodgers are hot, the Rockies are hot, and that division's up for grabs.
Here's Ian Desmond. Stayed on the ball, went the other way for a base hit, so they try to go inside early. But of Ian's last 8 hits or so, he's just splitting the ballpark. 4 of them have been pulled, and 4 of them have gone the other way. He'll go up the middle, and he's 2 for 2. And the Nationals have their 4th base hit. Hudson came in with an opponent's batting average of .270.
Man, he's just been standing tall. Look how tall he's standing on his backside right here, just pounding straight down to the baseball. That's what he's been doing good lately. You know, when he's not going well, he's got that loop in his swing. Swings kind of this way. Lately, he's just keeping it simple, keeping it short, right to the baseball. Quick hands, short swing.
First time up, Rick Ankiel stayed on the ball and drove it to the track in left field.
Now getting back to the West, and maybe that division's up for grabs right now, Bob. In my experiences, when you have a team that's overachieved like the Diamondbacks, these guys have had a heck of a year. Then all of a sudden you got guys that got you to a certain point. And I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make themselves better to win that division. But now all of a sudden you got an infield of a bunch of different guys. And guys are getting to know each other. Lyle Overbay was in Pittsburgh this year. Aaron Hill, John McDonald in Toronto. And the guys, the core guys that got you to this point are gone. And now you got a bunch of new guys. And I don't know how that affects clubhouse chemistry. You know, in certain cases, if a team's going well, you get a guy here, a guy there. You don't miss a beat.
Didn't work very well in Pittsburgh, did it?
No, and I haven't been watching them enough to know why what's going on there is going on there. But just, thinking out loud right now, you got a ball club that's tight-knit. Now you got a whole different crew out there. I wonder how that's going over.
That ball's going to hang up for the right fielder, Upton. And Rick Ankiel is 0 for 2. Well, they had to do something about shortstop when Stephen Drew fractured his ankle July 21st, and that's what really kind of threw them into disarray, because that kid has been a glue guy for them for the last few years. He'll always hit 270, 280. Enough home runs for a shortstop, enough RBIs, and give you that stellar defense every night. That kid has really become a good player. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, who struck out on the front end of a double play to end the first inning. And of course, Kelly Johnson and Drew were their double play combination. When the Nats first saw them in June, Xavier Nady was playing first base with Roberts at third. That ball hit hard. What a grab by Aaron Hill to take a hit away from Ryan Zimmerman. Nats are swinging the bats pretty well, just lacking that two-out magic right now. The Mets. A free post-game concert presented by Coca-Cola featuring Lifehouse. Tickets start at $10. Log on to nationals.com/Grand Slam for all the information you need. How about some baseball and some music?
Carb, you got Lifehouse on your iPod, hanging by a moment, all in, broken, whatever it takes. I know you got them on there.
I will. I want to hear them live.
They're great.
I love live music. Levon finally throws ball one to somebody before a strike, and that hadn't happened all night. Gerardo Parra leads off. Bunted for that base hit that set the D-backs up for a possible rally in the first inning, but Upton struck out, and then Montero hit into that dandy defensive 3-6-1 double play by the Nats. So Parra 2 for 5 in the series. Another guy who's been struggling, 4 for 26 coming in. Bunch of bats on this potent Arizona club have gone silent together. Two games up on the Giants, who play the Padres later tonight. And by the way, the Marlins are in the second game of a doubleheader. That's on the corner. Parra can walk away, and Levon has his third strikeout. Cincinnati has 2 early runs in that nightcap.
Little front door Johnson from Livan Hernandez. You see the 2-seam fastball running back, and there's not a whole lot you can do. I always talk about it. You see him getting the squat right there. Your first instinct is that ball's going to hit me. And your next thought is I'm going back to the dugout to get my glove.
It's like a left-hander throwing you a breaking ball.
Pretty much.
There's Justin Upton, who struck out swinging first time in an epic battle that went nearly 10 pitches before Levon finally just flopped one down and away from him and struck him out.
This might be a slider too, 3-0. There's certain guys that Levon picks out in the opposition's lineup that he doesn't want to mess with. He'll just move on to the next hitter, and I think Upton would be the guy that he would circle in the D-backs lineup.
Runs that one up and into him, and Michael Morse watches that go flying by. So the Diamondbacks have 3 hits. AT&T trivia for you here in the 4th inning. Where do you start with Levon? 85 career RBIs with 10 homers, a batting average of .222. So the RBIs lead all active pitchers. There's another category he leads in as well. Would that be fact number 2? We'll see. If it's not, we'll tell you about it. First pitch swinging. Miguel Montero, and Zimmerman just a little bit short and then skidding into that barrier there.
Great effort. Hey, did you see how far he went for that ball? I thought there's no way he's getting that baseball. He didn't give up on it, and I think he got a glove on it. He checked the ball, he checked the fence, he checked the ball, he checked the fence, ball one more time. Almost made a heck of a play, but what an effort on a foul ball. And that's a good fan right there. You see him getting out of the way? Give that fan put a star by that fan. That's how you do it. You see your home guy coming towards you, get out of the way.
That's at the knee, strike 2. It saw that replay. Did Zimmerman just get the pinky of his glove on that ball? Oh, 2 with 1 out, runner at first. Pop up. Ryan's going to get to this one. 2 down. So Levon, who leads active hitting pitchers in RBIs. Last 2 to reach 100. Phil Niekro and Steve Carlson. Boy, that's been a while. And Levon is the active leader in sacrifices with 122. 19 more than Roy Oswalt, who was here over the weekend. So bunting or swinging, Levon does plenty during those consecutive starts of 472 to help himself. Chris Young bounced out to Ryan Zimmerman, first time up. I think my partner would call that ownage. 1 for 12. And a hitter struggling 0 for his last 20 overall.
And some guys, you just pick up the ball better than other guys. You can't explain it. If somebody asked you why, you'd say, I baseball in a certain guy's hands well, and other guys just give you fits. And the guys that give you fits, when other guys are seeing them well and say, oh, I love hitting off that guy, I rake that guy, and I can't see him. And that's when it gets real frustrating.
That ball was hanging, and he bangs it into the left field corner. Justin Upton heading for third. Johnny Gomes up with it, but then he drops it, and the Diamondbacks will lead. It looked like Matt Williams was going to hold that runner, and Johnny Gomes could be charged with an error for that last 90 feet.
That's a big bobble with 2 outs. You see Chris Young staying back on that curveball. He hammers it down the corner, damage done. And I think in his hurry to get the ball back in because of the speed of Justin Upton, Johnny Gomes peaked, he dropped the ball, and it cost the Nats a run.
And the replay shows Upton was definitely going to stop. So that's a double E7 and no run batted in. Speed will make you do funny things on defense.
And that's a play that Johnny Gomes makes 99 times out of 100, but because of the speed of the runner, you're thinking to yourself, I got to get this ball in. There's 2 outs. I know there's a chance that Matt Williams might send him from third. So you rush, you're in a hurry, you drop the baseball, and that's all she wrote.
First error he's made in a Nationals uniform. Lyle Overbay now trying to make it hurt. Pickoff play, and the runner just got his right arm back in there.
Every once in a while with 2 outs, if you want to throw a pickoff play on at second base because you think the runner's sleeping and you're trying to help out your pitcher, that's fine. But more times than not, 2 outs, concentrate on the hitter. Don't worry about the runner.
Underneath Michael Morse. That'll make the first run earned. They tack on another. It's 2-0 Arizona as Lyle Overbay is now 4 for 14 with 5 RBIs in 4 games since coming to the D-backs, who he played with several years ago.
Let's check out the pitch right here. Just the swing back fastball, Overbay all over it. Michael Morse gives it a go at first base. Can't keep it in front of him. You smother that ball, keep it in front of you. You got a chance to keep the runner from scoring. But that ball was hit pretty hard.
Aaron Hill, the hitter. Struck out swinging first time up. As we mentioned earlier, 104 games in Toronto, and he was hitting just 225. John McDonald in 65 games was hitting 250. Aaron Hill had a huge season in the not too distant past. He had 26 homers, 68 RBIs in 2010, but 36 over 108 the year before that when he went to the All-Star game as an American leaguer and ended up hitting 286 that year.
The power numbers were there last year. The average wasn't, just 205, and this year scuff one as well, 225 coming into tonight's game. But I'll tell you what, you talk to people in Toronto, people that get to see Aaron Hill play every day. He's a scrapper. He leaves it all out there. He plays a tremendous second base. One of the better arms you'll see at second base. Got good range. He plays good defense. He's having an off year.
Top of the 4th inning, 8 o'clock here at Nationals Park. Diamondbacks have broken through for 2 runs here on 3 hits. Trying to take the advantage in this series and the season series. Right now the 6 games all even at 3. And a 2-2 pitch coming. Banged into center, but Rick Ankiel is there. D-backs on the board, and the Nats, by the way, have not scored in 16 innings. Here come the bats. 21-8-25. Teddy nada. And it is Abe breaking the tape.
They had some signs that said, "Come race us, Gracie." Talking about Mark Grace, the color analyst for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mark Grace could do a lot of things. He could hit, he could pick it at first base, but one thing he couldn't do is run.
He is their Teddy Roosevelt because they have their player races with the big live bobbleheads. It's Grace, Matt Williams, Luis Gonzalez, and Randy Johnson. One pitch, one out, bottom of the fourth, Michael Morse. And at least by the time we were in Phoenix in June, Mark Grace, over the period of a couple of years, had never won a race. So he's their Teddy. Danny Espinosa is next. Morse had singled up the middle his first time. Danny pulled a base hit right field, his first. Right now in the series, there's a bit of an offensive drought taking place. The Nationals have not scored since Jason Worth's 3-run homer in the 4th inning Monday night. So no runs now entering its 17th inning this streak.
You hear that song that Danny Espinosa walks up to? It's the same song that Oscar De La Hoya enters the ring with. Danny's dad, a big Oscar De La Hoya fan. It's called Traigo La Sangre Caliente by Vicente Fernandez. So when you hear the trumpets blaring for Danny Espinosa, it's a tribute to Oscar De La Hoya.
Nice. Well, we know Caliente is hot. Fastball from the sidewinder outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves about to get underway at Chicago in a few minutes. Derek Lowe and Randy Wells in that one. Atlanta's on a roll. Right now they're only 6 games back to the Phillies, who lost today to the Mets. So Atlanta has its sights set on a division race, as well as being the overwhelming favorite in the wild card race right now. The season ends 5 weeks from tonight. Espinosa very late with that one, 2 outs. Second strikeout for Daniel Hudson. And we have operators standing by for a while long. 12 special season ticket offer. Buy 2, get 2 free. Place a deposit now, get the rest of this season free. The number 202-640-7990. 202-640-7990. And if you buy those tickets, the Nats will win more than 79 games next year, probably 90.
And you get to see Steven Strasburg's return.
And you get a free autograph baseball.
And you get to see Steven Strasburg's return. I mean, I would think that alone, buying season tickets for next year, and you get free ones for this year. You see Steven Strasburg come back after all the hard work. This place is going to be a circus. I cannot wait for that night.
That was 85 on 2-0 as Hudson pulls the string on Nix. Lance Nix, a variety of ailments lately. 7 for his last 49.
He's been banged up for sure. Trying to chief it out. Getting that lineup, last 12 starts you just mentioned, having a little bit of a scuffle. But I think it just goes to show you how hard it is to platoon. And as soon as Johnny Gomes got here, they started trading off in left field. Now you're not an everyday player. And it's tough to stay locked in.
And Nix will hit it right to Upton. So the Diamondbacks, as we move to the 5th, on top in Game 3 of the series, 2-0. Outdoors or Cox.com.
Story of this game is the two-run fourth by the D-backs. You see Chris Young right here, double down the corner, hits the fence, pops right up to Johnny Gomes, but in a hurry to get the relay in, to get the speedy Justin Upton. He dropped the ball. Lyle Overbay pulls a base hit into the hole, and that scores Young. And that's where we stand, 2-0 D-backs.
So despite the drop by Gomes, that became an earned run when Overbay drove in that other run. So we go to the fifth, and it's McDonald, Hudson, and Ryan Roberts. John McDonald, 36 years of age. First year in the big leagues was with Cleveland back in '99. Out of Providence. He's a Connecticut kid, lives in Massachusetts now. And a big looping breaking ball disposes of him in a hurry. Levon, fourth strikeout of the night.
And that one was 69, the hard curveball from Levon. Straight down, 12-6 break. Tough to stay back.
Daniel Hudson lined out hard to Danny Espinosa, first time.
And some people would consider a 69-mile-an-hour curveball borderline eephus pitch, but when Levon Hernandez has one in his back pocket that's 59, even slower than that, 10 miles an hour slower than that, it's just a curveball.
Hudson gets his hacks. By the way, we mentioned just 6 years ago, Princess Anne High School in Virginia Beach. He was an all-stater. First baseman and a pitcher. They won the AAA state championship. And he went on to a fine career, freshman All-American at Old Dominion, and was on the All-Colonial team there.
And in '09 for the White Sox, he played at every minor league level. Low A, high A, double A, triple A, and then the big leagues. How about that?
That ball was hanging, and he bangs it out to the gap. Johnny Gomes has it, 2 down. Top of the order, and here we go. It's word jumble time. The Masson Mobile word scramble is on the screen right now. If you don't get this one, text scramble to 29292 right now to play tonight's game. If you unscramble the word correctly, you'll be entered to win great autograph Nats memorabilia. Stay tuned into our ball games on Masson all week long. More chances to win. And in case you haven't figured it out from last night, it was Drew Storen. For those of you who lost sleep last night. And like I said, if you don't get this one, we don't know what we can do for you. Top of the order, Ryan Roberts, 1 for 2, base hit to left.
I got Roden.
1-1. Levon averaging 12 pitches per inning tonight. And just like Jordan Zimmerman last night, just trying to do his job and hoping for a little bit of run support. The Nationals have gone 17 consecutive innings now without scoring. Against the 10th rated pitching staff out of 16 teams in the league. But Ian Kennedy's not 10th rated anywhere. That guy was really something last night.
And so was Jordan Zimmerman. He was every bit as good as Ian Kennedy last night. I just feel like he feels like every fifth day he has to be perfect. How many times has he been out there with not a lot of run support, and he makes one mistake, and that's the difference in his outing.
Yep. That ball hit into right for Lance Nix. Levon keeps getting out. It's a bit of a hiccup in the fourth. He recovers nicely with a quick fifth. Time for a mid-game treat, and that should fuel you for the rest of the evening.
Oh, no.
batting practice today, and everybody wants to look like Johnny these days.
No, I told him if we win the series against Philly, he gets a mohawk, and we did.
Adam the bat boy. That's beautiful.
I like the shot of the back. A little rat tail down there at the bottom. That is a good mohawk, Adam. It looks good on you.
Johnny popped up to second first time up, and he leads off here in the fifth. Ramos and Livan to follow in a 2-0 Arizona lead. Center cut, 87. Strike one. Through 4 innings, Hudson doing just about what Livan's doing. 12 pitches per inning. So 48 pitches, 31 strikes. Giving up 4 harmless singles so far. That is in there on the inner half. That's perfect. Outside corner, strikeout number 3.
Well, that's as good as you can work a hitter. First pitch slider. I should say first strike slider more accurately. Then he goes fastball in, fastball away. Thanks for coming.
Verizon Pitch Track, America's largest and most reliable network, is Verizon. Wilson Ramos bounced out to short. Since Espinosa's hit in the second, Daniel Hudson's retired 10 of the last 11, and now 11 out of 12 on a play by Ryan Roberts, taking care of Ramos. 2 down. That'll bring in Livan.
We saw a bunch of good plays from Ryan Roberts in the first game of this series at third base. Played second last night. Going to the backhand right there. Knows he's got some time with the catcher running. Little crow hop. Gets a little underneath that ball. Lyle Overbay picks him up on the backside.
Livan bounced out to short first time. Into right field and playing shallow, Justin Upton. Right now on cruise control is Daniel Hudson. 8 straight and 12 of 13 retired.
Whitaker. So I asked him earlier today what he thinks of the Nats middle infielders, Danny Espinosa and Ian Desmond, and he likes what he sees.
I'm always looking at everybody's middle infielders and just see how they go about their business. And speaking of Ian and Danny, both very talented players early in their careers, where there's things to learn. And I guess the things that I would recommend that we were teaching our guys and other clubs that I've been with is that the combination needs to work together.
And Alan told me, too, it's all about timing. The more these two work together, the better they're going to be. But he said it's going to be a lot of fun for the Nats fans to follow them over the years. Bob, FP.
Well, any guy who played 20 years in the big leagues and drove in 1,000 runs, worthy to be listened to. Alan Trammell played all those years with Lou Whitaker. And that's a great baseball man in that dugout right now, who I hope gets another opportunity to manage at the big league level, after he had to nurture all those young Tigers through those tough, lean years.
Boyhood idol of mine. My student ID card, my senior year in high school, said Alan Trammell on it. The lady asked me my name, and I said Alan Trammell, and she wrote it on there. And I still have it, my laminated senior card with my picture, Alan Trammell.
He would be so flattered. On a pitch up, Michael Morse gets behind it, goes right to the bag, and that's how the top of the 6th gets underway. Here's our box score for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They've spread their base hits around. The RBI by Lyle Overbay back in the 4th, driving in Chris Young right after Justin Upton had scored with an error on the Young double. And that's really it so far offensively for either ball club right now. Upton is 1 for 2, strikeout, base hit. Hit the ball hard the other way to get that single back in the 4th.
And some of the better stuff I've seen from Livan Hernandez all year tonight. The curveball has been good. The fastball has been good off of the curveball. I've seen a couple of fastballs at 86 miles an hour, so the command's there. He's hitting his spots, and he's doing this.
Justin Upton's birthday's tomorrow. He wants somebody to wrap up a fastball for him. 1 ball to 1 strike. He's not going to get one, and that's a pop-up left side. Ian Desmond for the 2nd out. Hats off to you Nats fans who've been helping us out with our back-to-school supplies at the ballpark last weekend. Now you can take them to a PNC branch through Saturday. Anywhere in the area, receive 2 tickets to a game in September. All donations benefit public schools in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. So stop by your local PNC Bank branch. Bring some school supplies, make life better for our kids, and you get free tickets to see the Nats. Here's Miguel Montero, takes a ball up and away. He's 0 for 2 with a double play ball and a pop-up to Ryan Zimmerman on a foul ball. So Livan, 6 in a row now since the RBI hit by Overbay back in the 4th. He's just going to take that outer half and paint it at the letters. Strike 2.
88 miles an hour. I'm telling you, he's feeling good tonight. Only 59 pitches his last start. Very fresh, very crisp.
And that's going to be a hitter making very little effort to get out of the way. And Montero's down to first base with 2 down.
I'm surprised most hitters don't do that. More hitters don't do that, excuse me, with the swing back fastball. It's tough to hit. The only time it's a strike is when it hits the glove. So if you can't hit it, let it hit you. And what does Livan think about it?
Well, he probably didn't want to face Chris Young in this inning, and that's why he reacted so strongly. That's only the 5th batter this year that Livan has hit. Last time Hernandez left one in the middle of the plate, and Chris Young pounded the ball to the wall in left field. That's a changeup. That thing had a lot of dip on it at the end. Even high changeups with downward movement can be tough.
Still haven't seen that 60-mile-an-hour curveball. A couple of mid-60s.
Well, it's the 6th inning. Why not here?
Well, that would be the pitch you throw it off of. He tried to backdoor the fastball there with 2 strikes, maybe setting up the slow curveball.
Pitch count nice for 6 innings of work. Levon's gone 6 innings or more 17 times this year. Make it 18, and there it is. You can't even get pulled over for going that fast. 2-0. Desmond 2 for 2 coming up. They've had 379 of them, and it's getting close to $19,000 for every walk. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington, D.C. They urge us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Ian Desmond 2 for 2 tonight, 5 for 10 in the series, and he's sporting some good takes on borderline pitches these days. That's a good fastball. Hudson doing a good job of working those corners. Desmond goes down and gets it, pops it right field line. Plenty of time to get over for Upton. Nationals box score pretty empty again tonight. No runs in the last 18 innings, and Ian Desmond is the main man so far. Morse has a hit. Espinosa went back-to-back with him in the second, but then 3 very quick outs ended that threat. Rick fly ball to left, fly ball to right. Thought it was a fastball, didn't he?
Yep, good changeup. He goes into his glove right here and wiggles it around a little bit, and that's so you don't know what he's throwing. We talk about it all the time. Sometimes pitchers tip their pitches. The glove will get fatter on maybe an off-speed grip when you go to the changeup. Maybe the glove wiggles a little bit when you change from your fastball grip to your slider grip. So how do you prevent the opposition from seeing the pitches? You shake your glove like that every single time so it looks the same.
Rick Ankiel still looking for his first base hit in this series. He's walked once, but 0 for 6.
And some guys like to have their finger out of their glove, and you see the protector over his finger. That's in case that wiggles too. So he's got it all covered.
Ankiel trying to run this one out. Pitcher right there. And that could be a tough play for a pitcher to keep that ball in the glove while he's swiping that tag. 2 outs. Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races, National League leaders. And right now, longest home hit streaks. Ryan Zimmerman set a new one last night with a 4th inning base hit to left. FP, congrats being on that list.
Yeah, how about that? I had an 18-game hitting streak that year for the Expos, so most of it was probably at home. I always joke and say they'll show 4 guys and tell the truck I'm 5th on that list, but I actually made one finally. All right.
Nice. Santangelo Grizzolonic.
Not so sure that I'm happy about the way you sound so surprised about that, but I'm still glad to be on that list nonetheless.
You're in very good company, I'll put it that way, and so are they. And by the way, Charlestown Races on a 1-0 to Ryan. Huge TVs, cold beer, all-star eats, great giveaways. The all-new Skybox Sports Bar, your game day headquarters at Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races. Zimmerman is 0 for 2 tonight, robbed of a hit last time. And a great play by Aaron Hill up the middle. Ball 2. It's a 2-0 game. Get Ryan aboard, get Morse in there, things could change in a heartbeat. And he's starting that thing off the plate and right back it comes. Got Johnny Gomes looking on one of those last inning. But for the most part, Daniel Hudson pitching to contact here. 10 consecutive hitters retired. That's right in there, and Zimmerman can only walk away. Now the scoring drop for the Nats is at 19 innings, trailing here 2-0. And Levon pretty good himself. That's our game summary brought to you by Cox Wireless. Learn about their unbelievably fair service at their solution stores or Cox.com.
Levo Show back in town tonight. He's been good. Everything's been crisp, sharp, right to the target. You look at the curveball grip, the release point, the rotation. That's been the story of the night for the Nats. Levon's been good. I don't even want to say he made a mistake on that ball because, you know, it was down in the corner. Probably the play should have been made. You never know.
77 pitches, 51 strikes, 57 strikes, including that one to Lyle Overbay. He followed that double with a base hit, and the D-backs had their 2 runs. This ball driven the opposite way, backing up Johnny Gomes, and the outs keep on coming for the Nats right-hander. He's going to have to match Hudson pitch for pitch here. And by the way, Levon now trying to go 7 innings or more for the 8th time this year. Ball bunted in the air. And when it drops, the Nats had only one chance, and that was to let it go foul.
And that might have been the best play that Ryan Zimmerman's ever made in his whole life, because if he ran into Levon Hernandez, I don't know that we would have seen Ryan Zimmerman for the rest of this year. They were coming at each other fast and furious. Watch. They're both going to the same point. And they both back off, let the ball bounce. But that had collision written all over it.
Aaron Hill has struck out and flied to center. That's a busted bat. Right side, Danny Espinosa. 2 outs. Bringing in John McDonald, the number 8 hitter. If you're hitting the road, take the Nats with you. MLB.tv. Every game live on demand or on your computer, your favorite device. Nationals.com for all the info you need in the order. MLB.tv. Had to be a whirlwind for Aaron Hill. John McDonald traded yesterday. The Blue Jays were home, and Washington, of course, not that far away from Toronto. And then they'll hop on their first Diamondbacks charter tomorrow night and back to Phoenix for this ball club. And they will have a 3-game series with San Diego, and then the Rockies come in next Monday, and that'll be a chance for Colorado to really make up some space and some ground in that Western Division. Zimmerman cuts it off. Nifty play. Levon's pitching well, and the boys are playing some good defense behind him. Michael Morse, Danny Espinosa. Lance Nix coming up, 7th inning stretch. tough to beat because of the pitching every night.
Yeah, Daniel Hudson's been nice. He's retired 11 in a row, but Levon's been good too. If it wasn't for a hit by pitch, he would have retired 10 in a row, so 9 of his last 10. And, you know, we thought the pitching matchup was last night. It's turned out to be a pretty good pitching matchup tonight.
Left-handers Miley and Lannon tomorrow night. And right now, Arizona, they got to pitch well because they're not exactly scoring lots of runs either, and Levon's shutting them down for the most part.
Yeah, you talk to pitchers, that puts a lot of stress on them. They got to go out there and be almost perfect because their offenses aren't clicking right now. And I think, you know, if you ask Jordan Zimmerman from last night and maybe some of the Nats pitchers lately, you know, the offense has run into some tough pitching. You face the Phillies, obviously tough pitching, and then there's a reason why the Arizona Diamondbacks are in first place. We were very, very impressed with Ian Kennedy last night and Daniel Hudson tonight.
It's getting late. Bottom of the 7th. Michael Morse 1 for 2. So is Danny Espinoza. Colin Ballister for the 8th. If the Nats send a bunch of guys up to the plate here, I mean, Levon should be okay on his pitch count to pitch a while, but just in case there's a rally here. A right-hander getting ready. Seven innings, 2 runs on 5 hits, 5 strikeouts. And Hudson humping that thing up to 94 up and in. Tapper to third. On the move, Ryan Roberts. Tonight's copyrighted telecast presented by Authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Daniel Hudson has now retired 12 in a row and 16 of the last 17 Washington hitters. In the air to left for Gerardo Parra. No hits since Desmond in the 3rd. And up to Lance Nix now to try to extend this inning. Right now, Hudson averaging under 12 pitches per inning. And as the game goes on, his command has been so good. Guys are swinging early in the count. Don't want him to get them to a 2-strike situation. So Nick's ahead. Let's see what he can do.
Two-0 changeup.
All night long.
Changeup looks just like the fastball. Same two-seam action, same two-seam movement. Here's about 6 miles an hour slower.
And Nix will pull this ball, hooking, staying fair into the right field corner. Johnny Gomes will get a chance now as the tying run with Lance Nix doubling here in the 7th.
Little 2-out double, 14th double of the season for Lance Nix. Tried to double up on the changeup, so threw a 2-0 changeup, then a 2-1. Lance Nix just dropping the head on that baseball and gets himself a double. When Lance Nix is going good, he pulls a baseball. It's just that simple. And getting that ball out in front, hitting down the corner, head down the baseball. Good job of staying on that.
Offers won't last long. Hurry into your local dealership for the Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Summer Clearance Event. They sponsor the Exmo. Johnny Gomes 0 for 2. And a beautiful breaking ball from one side of the plate to the other. Last time up, he got ahead of Johnny and then buzzed him on the outside corner with that swing back fastball. So he's thrown him 2 breaking pitches here. Wilson Ramos. Well, starting to look like quite a deal for the D-backs, getting this right-hander in the Edwin Jackson deal at the deadline last year. Went 7-1 in 11 starts for the D-backs the rest of the way. So he is 19-10 as an Arizona pitcher in just over a year. Henry Rodriguez now replacing Ballister in the bullpen. As Levon Hernandez hitting spot is still 2 batters away. Man, 2 outs into the 7th, 82 pitches. Good take by Johnny. Steady diet of breaking balls here.
4 sliders in a row from Daniel Hudson. They've all started on the outer half and run off the plate. What you have to guard against is that fastball that looks like the slider away that runs back. Looks like they're coming in here with 2 strikes. No, he bounced out. There it is.
Fastball right down the middle. Inning over. Nats have stranded 4 runners tonight, and this one flies into the 8th inning. 2-0 Arizona. Their second last homestand of the season. They're about to hit the road for the weekend, so check them out. And then they'll be back in about a week and a half to finish things up at Fitzner Stadium in Woodbridge. 703-590-2311 or PotomacNationals.com. Coming off an 11-1 win over Wilmington last night. Look at some of those low pitch innings, including 7 last time around. Levon has retired 10 of his last 11 hitters. And here's Daniel Hudson, 0 for 2. Line drive to second, fly ball to left. Old time ball game here. 8th inning, both starters still going at it. Look at the pitches. Top of the order, Ryan Roberts is next, and then Gerardo Parra. On a 1-2 pitch, he waits for it and bangs it in the air to left. Hudson gets his cuts. He's 0 for 3 tonight, and that's okay with the D-backs. They want him getting a breather back in the dugout right now in the top of the 8th. Tomorrow night, battle of lefties. Wade Miley, a rookie, and John Lennon, who's 8-9 with a 3.61 ERA. Miley had his major league debut at Atlanta Saturday, pitched 4 innings. And John Lennon's 3-1 career against Arizona with a 1.04 ERA. Nats Extra, Johnny and Ray, 6:30. After that game, the Nats fly to Cincinnati, the Diamondbacks home. Roberts 1 for 3, single in the first. might have been upstairs for ball 4, but Upton made a move toward it, and the count's full with 1 out. With the runner moving, count stays full.
Well, that is Kurt Gibson playing with house money right there, up by 4 runs. It starts Miguel Montero right there. He's got 1 stolen base this year. And Chris Young has struck out 107 times.
Isn't managing ahead a beautiful thing?
It is. You're playing with house money. You're up 4 runs. Push the envelope. You got the momentum right now. Still, that's taking a huge chance.
Runner holding that time. Thanks to the starting pitchers, this one deep into the ball game as we reach the 9 o'clock hour at Nationals Park. Bob FP, Debbie on Mass and HD. It's all Arizona right now. They won 2-0 last night, leading 4-0 tonight. Nationals have not scored a run in 20 innings, and now they're down by a 4 spot. Rodriguez, bases loaded. Nobody warming in the Nats bullpen. Let's have a look at our Ford drive of the game.
Let's go back to the 4th inning. Lyle Overbay. He stays back on the off speed, just a little base hit through the hole. And that scores Chris Young, and that's our Ford drive of the game.
Lyle Overbay 1 for 3 with a base hit.
We've been seeing a lot of change-ups from Henry Rodriguez, 2 lefties. So he gets a first pitch strike with a fastball. And he's got a pretty good feel for that pitch. Change-up will go 91 to 93 miles an hour off the upper 90s fastball.
Very late reaction.
He's actually out in front of that 90-mile-an-hour changeup. So 98 on the fastball, 90 on the changeup. Tough to stay back.
And a pop-up left side, playable for Ryan Zimmerman. 2 outs.
We got strike 1 with a fastball and then 2 changeups in a row to Lyle Overbay. Gets the pop-up. It's a big out.
Aaron Hill in his Diamondbacks debut, 0 for 3 tonight. Drove in 45 runs for Toronto in 104 games. That's a nasty breaking ball. 0-2.
I'd probably throw 1 more of those. Maybe go elevated fastball back to the curveball, but that one was sharp.
And it goes fastball, 99. That's a big, heavy hammer right there. Diamondbacks pick up a couple. Levon charged with 4 runs tonight. Bottom of the 8th coming up, 4-0 Arizona. Still on the mound for the Diamondbacks. And tomorrow, following the Orioles game in Minnesota and prior to the Nats and D-backs, approximately 4:30 to 6:30, it's the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson, Mel Anton, and all the latest news on the Nats and the rest of the league. The Mid-Atlantic Sports Report on MASN HD. Wilson Ramos, then a pinch hitter. And then the top of the order for Washington in the 8th. Wilson Ramos has pulled 2 ground balls, 1 to short, 1 to third. And there's Alex Cora, the Nats' only left-handed off-the-bench bat. There is nothing happening in the Arizona bullpen. And that's well hit to left by Ramos, who is now 3 for 10 in this series.
It all started with a line drive to left field in the 8th inning. He gets a slider out over the plate, stays on it nice, and he's had that pitch well lately. He's handled the slider down and away. He's handled the changeup very well. Always great to get that leadoff man on down by 4.
As I mentioned a long while ago, Alex Cora is one of only 3 Nats who've ever had a plate appearance against Daniel Hudson. He's 1 for 3 against Hudson. As a pinch hitter, 4 for 20 with 2 RBIs. And the way Ian Desmond is swinging the bat, this becomes a huge AB at this point in the ballgame.
Until you represent the tying run, you have to have a leadoff hitter's mentality right now. Nationals need base runners, so whatever it takes to get on base and keep the line moving.
And Cora will pop it into center. Chris Young. 5 outs to get if he goes the distance, which he's done twice this year. And the top of the order now, Ian Desmond. David Hernandez has been outstanding for the D-backs this year, right in front of J.J. Putz. And so they'll get him revved up in case Desmond goes 3 for 4 here. Target in. Desmond to the gap in right center. That ball is beyond the reach of Justin Upton. Wilson Ramos held at third by Bo Porter, and Ian Desmond is 3 for 4.
21st double of the year. Have a night, Ian Desmond. The one guy that's really picked up Daniel Hudson well all night long. Takes a 2-hit night, turns it into a 3-hit night with a double. Just staying back, very nice. Letting the ball get to him. It seems like all season long, Ian Desmond has went out to get the baseball as a hitter. Last couple of weeks or so, he's letting the ball travel, he's letting it get deep, and he's just dropping the head on the baseball, keeping it real simple. And good job, Bo Porter, holding Wilson Ramos at third base. Down by 4, you can't take a chance in that situation.
Charles Nagy, the D-backs pitching coach, tying run, not in the batter's box yet. So maybe Hudson gets one more piece of rope here before they have to go to the bullpen. It all depends on Rick Ankiel.
He's pitching for a shutout.
He's going to pitch off the full windup here. Ankiel hits it hard, unluckily right at Overbay. 2 outs.
That is just bad luck right there for Rick Ankiel and the Nationals. That had double, 2 runs. And Ryan Zimmerman at the plate representing the tie and run, but it was right at Lyle Overbay. You can't hit it any harder than that.
It's up to Ryan Zimmerman. A rare hitless night so far. 2 strikeouts around a hard hit ball where he was robbed of a hit. And Ryan Zimmerman's at bat right here decides whether it's a ball game or not, at least for now. Bouncer up the middle. How well placed. And how well played by John McDonald to end the 8th inning. Zimmerman 0 for 4. The Nats have stranded 6. And McDonald, the newest infielder. Wow. And he's over 90 pitches and probably set to come out for the 9th. After Tyler Clippard, pardon me, not Tyler Clippard, it'll be Ryan Matthews. The Nats switched off from Coffey to Matthews in the bullpen prior to this inning, so Ryan will come on and make his 31st appearance.
A fastball slider split for Matthews.
John McDonald to lead off. And then Daniel Hudson, then top of the order, Ryan Roberts. On a pitch low, one hopper, and Desmond can't make the connection. So McDonald just makes a great play at short to deny the Nats. And now he gets aboard here in the ninth.
You see Desmond getting caught in between right here. Giving with the ball just a little bit too much. That play looks very easy in Exmo. And I think the decision to go get the baseball was made just a tick late.
Ian Desmond has been given his 21st error of the year.
Probably fooled by the speed of it. McDonald took a full swing. The ball looked like it was hit really hard. And sometimes, just like in the batter's box, you can see changeups on defense too. And I think Ian Desmond just caught a changeup.
Obvious bunting situation by Hudson here, who has 9 sacrifices on the year.
And anytime the opposing pitcher is getting 4 plate appearances, it's not a good thing.
One ball and 2 strikes. How often do you see a guy just lay up and on a perfect bunt after 2 strikes? McDonald down to second base. That's 3-4 Morse to Espinoza on the sack.
A nice job of just catching the baseball with the bat. You see the knees flex, the bat out in front, just catching it like he's got a glove on the end of the bat. And why not on the night that Daniel Hudson is having?
And that sets things up for Ryan Roberts, so they have 2 shots to make it a 5-0 game. Roberts is 2 for 4 tonight. 3 for 11 in the series. He has scored a run. Got a good low breaking ball going there, and it's popped into center. Easy for Ankiel. 2 down. Gerardo Parra, a bunt base hit in the first to double in the 8th. That's a fastball at 93. That's low 2-0. Arizona breaking a string tonight of 7 consecutive games where they had scored 2 runs or fewer. That's a fair ball for Michael Morris, and this one's going into the bottom of the 9th. Michael will be the leadoff guy, followed by Danny Espinosa and Lance Nix, 4-0.
Out of Washington just can't get a run across the plate.
Well, these guys are pitching well, Johnny. Hudson is about as tough as Ian last night. We've only had 3 runners past second base, and one with 2 outs on the double by Nix. In that second inning, Morris was there, driven there by Espy, first and second. And then the inning in the 8th when we had a chance to do something, and we haven't been able to capitalize. Just 7 hits. Desi has 3 of those.
So some work to be done as we go to the bottom of the 9th here at Nationals Park. Back upstairs to Bob at FP.
All right, Johnny, thank you. And here we go. A rare complete game opportunity. Diamondbacks have 4 as a staff this year, and Daniel Hudson has 2 of them. Morris, Espinosa, Nix, 4, 5, and 6 here. And he's about to throw his 95th pitch of the night. It's perfect. By the way, this is the 14th time he's pitched 7 innings or more this year. JJ puts if they need him. That's a little tapper to the right side, and he's making it look easy.
It is time for our Morgan Franklin pivotal play. Let's go back to the 8th inning. John McDonald ranging up the middle. Runners on first and second. Michael Morse lurking on deck. We saw Jimmy Rollins do this a couple times over the weekend, but that is a great play. Good job on the back end by Lyle Overbay in a short hop. Pivotal plays happen in sports, and they happen in business and government too. See who's making them at pivotalplays.com.
And the only way you get Ryan Zimmerman to go 0 for 4 is to rob him of 2 hits during the game.
Yeah, the on-base streak is over for Ryan Zimmerman unless this game goes into extra innings.
Danny Espinosa 1 for 3 with a base hit. The Nats 2 nights ago won a ball game to get back to within 2 of the 500 mark, and now they'll be 4 under unless they can come back and finish in miracle fashion here. 1 more game of the series and homestand tomorrow night. And Espinosa on a high fastball, blown away by Daniel Hudson.
He's just as strong in the 9th as he was in the 1st, maybe even stronger.
So Lance Nix is the Nationals' final hope. He will fly it deep to right. Heading for the wall, and it is right over the scoreboard. The Nats are on the board with Nix 15th of the year. That's RBI number 41 for Lance.
Hey, you never want to get shut out as a ball club. So the Nats down to their last out. Lance Nix says, you're not shutting us out tonight. One swing of the bat breaks up the shutout for Daniel Hudson. He gets a run on the board for the Nats.
Finally a run for the first time in 22 innings. So here's Johnny Gomes, Ramos on deck, and a 4-1 ball game. Johnny Gomes goes deep to left field. This ball heading for the bullpen, and it's a 4-2 game.
Well, if you haven't learned by now not to turn off the game, I can't help you.
This becomes a save situation now with a tying run to the on-deck circle. So does Kurt Gibson stay with Daniel Hudson against Wilson Ramos?
I don't think so. I think he just told everybody in the ballpark that he's on empty.
After 102 pitches,
how big does that play that John McDonald made in the 8th inning look now? Wow.
Yeah. And here comes the hook. He will go 8 2/3 and give up 2 runs on 7 hits.
And sometimes the hardest thing for a young pitcher to learn is to be your own closer. That 27th out sometimes is the toughest, and I think Daniel Hudson just learned a lesson tonight. If he's out of this game, Gibby has not motioned to the bullpen yet. I don't know if he's trying to buy some more time.
Well, Putz should be ready. He's for a while. And he's wondering if he's coming in. He's made the call. Hudson does not walk a batter tonight. Strikes out 6. And he gives up 2 runs on 7 hits. Jason Worth. Are they calling Ramos back? Or is Worth after Ramos? We'll find out. Inning Jacks.
And Lance Nix broke up the shutout. One swing of the bat, gone. Deep fly ball to right center field, just gets out of here. And Johnny Gomes says, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to try that too. So now it's up to Wilson Ramos to get on base for Jason Worth against J.J. Putz.
Yeah, Worth will be batting in the 9th spot in a moment. And here's Putz, who saved the ball game last night. He flied out Wilson Ramos to right field to end the game after popping up Espinosa and striking out Nix.
Now, one thing the Nats have going for them right now is A, they have the momentum, and B, you wonder if Putz was ready to come into this baseball game. 1 out away, sometimes you shut it down mentally. Let's see if he's got what it takes.
He jams Ramos, and Overbay is after it and holds on. The game is over.
Now, Lyle Overbay's made some good plays tonight at first base. None bigger than that to stop the momentum from the red team. And he goes a long ways for this baseball, over the shoulder, fence approaching, and that's all she wrote.
Nats drop the 3rd game of the series, 4-2, and the Diamondbacks will try to go for 3 out of 4 tomorrow. The Nats will be looking to split. For FP and Debbie, Bob Carpenter. Arizona, good pitching. Levon just not quite as good as Hudson tonight. Finale tomorrow night, and this has been a presentation of Massey. Johnny and Ray, Nats Extra, straight ahead and from the booth. So long for just a while.